Well, we're about a month into the new school year for many school districts, and tonight we are taking a look at a local school that is standing out. Our media partners at Texas Monthly say this Dallas school proves that diversity is working, so why aren't others copying its success? Big question there. We've got Paul Tough looking into this right now. He's with Texas Monthly, joins us tonight for the discussion. So let's set the scene right now, Paul. As you reported, there are more than 100 school districts in Dallas-Fort Worth's metro area, with Dallas ISD being the largest school district in the area. Can you tell us about what type of segregation kept coming up as you were digging into the story?
So I was really focused on socioeconomic segregation, on the fact that is true across the country that mostly well-off kids go to school with other well-off kids and lower-income kids go to school with other lower-income kids. And in Dallas-Fort Worth, you can see that in two ways. One is there are a ton of different small districts throughout the city, the metropolitan area, and there's a real variation in the concentration of low-income kids. So you've got the Everman district that is more than 90% low-income. You've got the Highland Park district that is less than 1% low income. And then even within Dallas ISD, the biggest district in the metropolitan area, there's this real range where about half of the schools, more than 90% of the kids are low income. But then you've got Lakewood Elementary where only 8% are low income. So there's a real variation.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about a school within Dallas ISD that you highlighted in this article that you wrote here. How is Solar Preparatory School for Girls, that's the name, changing things in Dallas, and how does it their test scores compare to other schools?
Well, so they are taking on this socioeconomic segregation head on. They are part of an experiment that started about a decade ago in Dallas ISD called the Transformation Schools that were what they called diverse by design. So Solar Prep from its first year did their admission, so exactly half of each class is below the low income cutoff and the other half is above. And so still 10 years later, they maintain that diversity. So exactly half the school is low income, half the school is higher income. And a lot of people suspected that that would lead to lower test scores. It has not. So right now, about 3/4 of Solar Prep kids are meeting the state standards in reading, and that's compared to about less than half of kids across the state. So at every level, they are beating the state benchmarks. Their test scores are great.
Yeah, and while the school does have its success, Paul, there are many challenges, one of them being the location of the school itself. How has that become a hurdle for the school's mission and for some of the families that attend the school?
So because Dallas-Fort Worth itself is pretty segregated in terms of socioeconomics, it means the school is pretty central. It's close to downtown, but it's a little bit on the north side. So for families on the south side, especially lower income families, say down in Oak Cliff, it's like a 30 or 40-minute school bus ride each way. And when you're trying to convince a family down there to send their kindergarten student on a long bus ride every morning, that's a bit of a challenge. But every year they're overcoming that challenge. They do a lot of recruiting, especially on the south side, to try to keep their numbers up on both sides of that economic divide. And every year, both lotteries, they have a separate lottery for the lower income and the higher income kids. Each year, both lotteries are oversubscribed.
In your sort of digging into all of this in your research, did you find if in fact there will be more transformative schools within Dallas ISD?
So there are right now about 20 transformation schools, but only a handful of them are pretty well balanced in terms of lower and higher income students. And when I spoke to the superintendent there, Stephanie Elizalde, she said she wasn't sure if she was going to be able to start any new 50-50 schools. The way she described it is that some of the energy that was there in Dallas-Fort Worth a decade ago has faded out, and that it's harder to get parents excited about this idea of socioeconomic integration. The parents I spoke to at Solar Prep are all really enthusiastic about what their girls are learning, not only academically, but what they're learning from going to school with kids who aren't like them. They're learning sort of a social fluency. They're learning how to take a different perspective on the world's problems. So they think it's really valuable. So it's not clear whether that's going to lead to more schools, but right now Solar Prep is the one that is succeeding.
Yeah, and Paul, could a new law that allows taxpayer money to be used to pay for private schools create more diversity in private schools? Is that a subject of discussion for folks?
Well, there's a lot of debate about what the voucher program is going to do to both to public schools and to private schools. But the experience of other states that have introduced voucher programs is doesn't make one hopeful about the possibility of more integration. In other states, what researchers have found is that it leads to more segregation both in private schools and public schools.
All right, Paul, we thank you so much for tonight's discussion and for all of your insight. And of course, you can read his entire article. It is available for you right now on TexasMonthly.com. CBS News Texas will be right back.